Hi, I'm Antti from Vision, and let's have a look at our pike lines. We have two models, Granddaddy, which has a short belly, and the longer belly version is the Big Mama. All of our pike lines have loops at both ends, so that means it's really easy to attach the backing with the loop to loop. Also, the leader is really easy to attach and change with the loop to loop at the other end. They're also made on a low stretch core, which means that it's really easy to set the hook, and you also feel the takes much better. It also transfers the casting energy much better than a core that stretches a lot. You may ask, what's the difference between these two? So let's have a closer look at the differences between these two lines. So, Rude, if I may. Thanks. So this is the Granddaddy. It's a short belly fly line, 8.5 meters head. You can actually see the changing of the color, which means that that's the end of the head, and the red one is the running line. So it's really easy to identify where to shoot the line. Because it's a short head, it's the dream line for belly boat fishing. It's also really good if you want a fly line that it's really fast to cast, because it's a short belly. You don't need a lot of false cast to get it out.
So as you can see, today is very windy day, and in these kind of conditions, a line with a little bit shorter head is quite ideal, because you need to make only 1 or 2 back casts, and then you can just shoot. So you don't need to keep the long line in the air, which is in like today, it's pretty difficult. So Granddaddy line has a short head and most of the weight is in front, so it's easy to cast and quick to cast in this kind of conditions.
That's Granddaddy.
Oi perse! Pantiin muovit kiertää.
No plastic in the sea.
Niin, less plastic. Ketterästi kuin nuori kaseri.
The new Big Daddy is also really good for taking trash out of the sea. So let's talk about the Big Mama fly line. It's a longer belly fly line. It has a 12.8 meter head, a long rear taper with the most of the weight being at the front of the head. A strong fly line, and if you're looking for a fly line that gives you a little bit extra distance and a little bit extra control, this is a good option, and especially for the boat fishermen.
Antti's fishing now with the floating Granddaddy line. And the place where we are is quite shallow. We have about 1 meter of water, so he can fish close to the surface. The fly is weedless, so he can cast it all the way into the weed without getting stuck. Other good point about floating line is that you get a lot of movement to the fly. Because if you have weighted fly, for example, every pull the fly jumps up, and then when you let it sink, it just goes down. It's like a jig. Antti has now the slow intermediate Big Mama line, and it's like almost like intermediate, just a bit slower. So when you're fishing slowly, for example in cold water, shallow places, it's a good all-round line. It's also summertime if you're using poppers, fishing on the surface. It sinks just a couple centimeters down, and every pull it pulls the popper towards the water, so it really plops even better than with the floating line. The slow-mo line, as it sinks just under the surface, in this kind of day like today is very windy, it sinks through the surface, so you don't get this line blown away with the wind. So you have a little bit more control compared to floating line. Why are you not catching anything?
Maybe I'm retrieving too slow. Let's change to a faster sinker.
We can try something else. Get it up, let's try this one. This is the Granddaddy intermediate line. Intermediate is the pike fisherman's all-round line. If you have to have just one line, that's what you need. You can fish it basically anywhere, any time of year, no matter if it's cold or warm. Sink 3 line is good for this kind of place where we are fishing now. This is about 3.5 meters deep, and you want your fly a little bit deeper so that it doesn't ride on the surface where the waves are still moving fast. You want to go under them.
And if you're wondering why I'm fishing so low, it's such a tough wind that I don't have a line basket, so all the line is in the water. So I'm trying to keep as low as possible so the line is not outside of the boat.
Sink 7 line is good for this kind of deep place which we are fishing now. There's about 3.5 meters under the boat, and it dropped down to about 7, and we can get all the way down there. It's also a good line in summertime when it's warm and you fish very fast. You can still keep the fly down deep enough, but you can fish it very, very fast. Pretty much every one of you have probably have problems with the line tangling, especially in the afternoon of the fishing day, and that's usually not the fault of the line. It's the flies which twist and turn during the cast. As these have a quite big head, they can have heavy eyes and stuff like that. They usually rotate in the air, causing twist to your line. And then of course, the more you cast, the more you get twist, the more you get tangles. So there's a couple tips which you can use to get your line untwisted. So for example, you can make a cast and cast all the line out what you have so that it hits the reel. And then when you pull the line back, it untwists. But the best way is to do maybe during the day or in the evening when you leave. You take the fly off, and then you just make a long cast, leave the line behind the boat and drive slowly a couple minutes, let the line just be there so it untwists, and then you reel it in. And next time when you fish, you don't have twist. This is for today, so now we just untwist Antti's line and go home. And as we say in Finland, kala onnea!